This show is clean, pretty much.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 735. Hello, it is Mike Matthews broadcasting from the last place on earth, located somewhere in Podcaster Valley, California. Today, Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, the Brewmaster, plus it's part 3 of my Into It interview with the San Francisco band, the 3-piece called Cash for Gold. And they're doing something to help us get more primary physicians here in California. Mike's Daily Podcast. There's absolutely nothing that rhymes with California except you can't afford here. Mike's Daily Podcast. And on yesterday's show, John Deere, the engineer, revealed that he's afraid of Giada De Laurentiis' breasts. He watches a lot of Food Network, and I think that passed the test of showing that he's a really cool guy that likes to make me food, although he should do it more often. That would be really good if he did that. My name is Kyle McLaughlin, and Mike's Daily Podcast. I used to be on Twin Peaks and in the movie called the Showgirls, where I had sex in a pool. Mike's Daily. I think I've gotten a little off point. Podcast. What I did want to tell you was, I was on Wikipedia the other day. I was just obsessed. I was trying to get to sleep, and I started obsessing about Magic Mountain. Look who just walked in. Hi, Mark. It's Benita, the rodeo queen. How y'all doing?
It's a disgruntled fiddle player. Tell you what.
What?
I'm disgruntled.
That's what it says in your name. Mark, why would John Deere, the engineer, be afraid of Giada De Laurentiis' boobs? Well, it just... Sometimes there are things that scare us all. I am frightened by tiny people that come up to my door and want me to buy candy bars.
You mean children?
Don't label them. Would you like to be labeled?
Well, I just did. I said I'm disgruntled.
Oh, look who else just walked in.
Hello there, Mark. This is the Brewmaster. I make the root beer.
What root beer are you making today?
I made a delicious back-to-school root beer. Oh, boy.
Ah, gosh, I'm getting sick of seeing all the back-to-school stuff already. It's just the beginning of August. It's not mid-August or late August. Leave it. I'm not even in school anymore, and I don't want to see the back-to-school crap. Come on, right? Am I right? Yeah, I am. Mac, what's a Magic Mountain? Oh, that was something, before school started, we would always go to Magic Mountain as like one last summer fling. It's in Southern California in a town called Valencia, where a lot of people move to if Los Angeles is too expensive for them. They move out to Valencia, which is desert, it's dry, it's cowboy, it's hot, dusty, tumbleweeds. And back in the 70s, they built this place called Magic Mountain. It was just a couple of roller coasters in the beginning. And I have been going there my entire life, well, up until I moved out of Southern California to Alabama in the mid or so O's. And there has been so many roller coasters that they put in there since. I think it is now the most amount of roller coasters in one amusement park. I think they hold that record now in North America. But I was reading this Wikipedia about it, and there were all these rides that I had forgotten about. There was they're known for their roller coasters. In fact, they still have the Gold Rusher, which now you go on, and it's a nice little, it's almost like a little massage. It's so soothing. But of course, they had Colossus, which has been used in many a movie. I think they used it in National Lampoon, right? The first family travels thing with the Chevy Chase guy. The Adventure. Vacation, whatever the hell it was called. And then there was, I think, some movie called Roller Coaster and a bunch of other ones. They just use this, the Revolution, which was the first permanent roller coaster to have a loop in it in North America. All these things I learned about in Wikipedia, so it's true. So I used to just love going there with my friends. I am not a big fan of Magic Mountain. I much prefer the amusement parks like Disneyland, where you have like these cool animatronics and stuff. No animatronics at all at Magic Mountain. It's all about the roller coasters. However, they did try and do a sort of Disney-esque ride called the Magic Pagoda, because at the very top of Magic Mountain, it has a pagoda. They have sort of a Japanese garden thing going on up there. And they created this ride where you go through, you'd walk through it. It was really low budget. There was a Buddha that talked to you at the beginning of the ride. It was this big statue that had a face like a movie screen, and then they projected onto that movie screen some guy's face that would be talking to you. And that was this bizarre effect. And then the rest of the ride was just like strobe lights and mazes. And they had like these little puppets that were animatronics, but they were like little puppets you would see like in a kiddie show at a fair. So that was Magic Pagoda. It's long since gone. It lasted, however, 10 years. They also had this very bizarre marionette show that was over by Colossus that lasted for quite a while. That was sort of a tribute to Hollywood, a hooray for Hollywood, if you will. More recently, rides that have been torn out include the Sarajevo bobsleds. They actually had like a bobsled. You sat in these cars. There was no ice involved because you're in the hottest place on earth in Valencia. But you would actually had little wheels on the car you were on, and you went through these tubes. That got dismantled and taken to another Six Flags park. But they also had a ride called Deja Vu, which I forgot what that did, but they took it out. They took out Deja Vu. They took out Deja Vu. Where have I heard that before? And actually, they moved that to another Six Flags park. Wow, Mike, you know an awful lot about Six Flags Magic Mountain. Now I want to go to Valencia and find me a cowboy. Oh, wait, I'm married. I'm sorry, I forgot. Disgruntled Fiddle Player.
It's okay. It happens. Quite a lot.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Deja vu. I would actually get a lot of calls from cowboys and cowgirls at the country station that I worked at. Hey, the signal went into Valencia quite powerfully. So I get calls from all these cow folk. And the cowgirls, actually, Benita's kind of modeled after some of the cowgirls that would call in. They had that kind of talk, where they would talk like that kind of cadence. The other quick odd thing about Magic Mountain is it always seemed to be within driving distance, the exact same driving distance, no matter where I moved to in Southern California. It was always like the same amount of time to get there. It was always equidistant from wherever I was. It helped me remember the geometry term equidistant. But from geometry to medicine. Here in California, yes, we need more primary care physicians. And apparently we're going to get them. According to WebMD.com, some doctors in the state of California will soon be able to practice after 3 years of medical school instead of 4, which is the traditional amount. American Medical Association is also providing seed money for the effort in the form of $1 million in a 5-year grant to the University of California at Davis. UC Davis says that more people gaining health insurance coverage under the Affordable Care Act is expected to compound the need for primary care, and one of the goals of the new curriculum there is to make family medicine a more appealing and lasting choice for young doctors. I actually went to a primary care physician for the first time in 6 years. Yes, the last time I went to see a primary care physician was back in my 30s. And I finally went to see one the other day, and I had a very pleasant experience. I can't believe that I'm saying that. But the doctor who I met, of course, for the very first time, was very nice to me and answered all these questions and was very helpful. I couldn't believe it. Actually spent like a full 15 minutes with me. Unbelievable. Accepted my insurance. I couldn't believe it. Just, I'm in shock. So hopefully this will help our whole state of California with more primary care physicians. We'll see. What do you think about the whole thing, the whole Affordable Care Act and the whole health system? Email me, MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. You can tell I didn't think too much of it since I stayed away from it for 6 years. I guess I was lucky enough to stay away from it, but now I need to get things checked. You can only go so long, right? Gotta check under the hood. Ooh, that's gross. Email me, MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com, or read your comments on the section emails from email. Also email me there if you'd like to be a guest on the show, or if you'd like to sponsor the show, MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. There is also the website, MIKES-DAILY-PODCAST.com, where you can find links to where to listen to the show in iTunes. Rate and comment on the show there, and that helps more people find out about us. Also, like the Facebook page. When I post a new show, share it with your friends, and more people will find out about us that way. Another great way to help out the show is through the Amazon deal of the day. Click on that and buy something at a great discount, and you will help us out a little bit that way too. There's also links to where to find us on YouTube, Spreaker, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Mixcloud, Yelp, Tumblr, Twitter. There is the blog, the Daily Podcast Picture, and all of my past interviews are right there at MIKES-DAILY-PODCAST.com.
Into an interview.
I'm talking to Jordan from Cash for Gold. He's the singer and guitarist of the band, along with Stella, who plays bass, and George, who's on drums. And you guys, are you all from San Francisco?
More or less, yeah. George lives right on Haight-Ashbury. Stella and I live up in the North Bay. So, San Francisco, and our studio is up in San Francisco, so that's kind of our home base. And it's easier, if we had 3 different locations on there, no one would know where the hell we were really from. So,
yeah,
San Francisco is our home base.
And what do you think of this drought? Has it affected you there in the city? When you're
the drought?
Yeah.
It's ugly. I personally, it hasn't. I've been doing my part to conserve water and all that good stuff, but it looks pretty bad. Everything's brown and shriveled up.
So I'm like 45, and I remember the drought, the really bad drought back in the 70s. And I remember seeing these bumper stickers and T-shirts that says, "Conserve water, take a bath with a friend." or a shower.
Not a bad idea at all.
Yeah. Where are those? I haven't seen those bumper stickers come back. And
you should bring them back, man.
Dang. It was all 70s looking, with the funny drawings and stuff. It was funny. Anyway, it takes me back. And Jerry Brown
Everyone wants to go back to the 70s now anyway. You'd probably do good bringing those back.
And Jerry Brown was our governor. It was way back that... Oh, wait, he's our governor again. Strange. Wow. But I wanted to play...
He does look like a fossil, doesn't he?
Yeah. I thought... Well, he's aged. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe that was he dated Linda Ronstadt for a while, and it was kind of a rock and roll.
Did he really? I didn't know that. That's some crazy news.
But we all age.
We all age.
It's
true.
something I've discovered, that there's this thing called aging, and he seems to have his wits about him. But hopefully, except for that tunnel under the state, which I'm all for tunnels under states, because I loved the Planet of the Apes 2, where Charlton Heston blew up the world. And there are
yes.
I'm into sci-fi movies, but
I'm right there with you.
But I don't know. We'll see. So anyway, on to trios, and you guys, you're a 3-piece. What are some of your favorite 3-piece bands?
Oh shoot! Well, I really like Blonde Redhead. They're one of my favorites as far as new bands go. I guess they're not really new. I think they peaked in the 90s, but newish. But I love Blonde Redhead. They kind of have the same lineup as us too. And as far as 2 guys and 1 girl, and there's a lot of similarities. But we're really influenced. I'm personally I'm very influenced by Blonde Redhead. I've liked them forever. So
I'll have to check them out.
Have you heard much of them?
No. I'm gonna Google them when we're done.
Very, very cool band.
I like blonde redheads, or I like I can't decide between blondes or redheads, but this sounds like a neat band.
I think they got it from a Sonic Youth song. I think that's a Sonic Youth song. Who they also sound like, so that makes sense, I suppose.
Was Sonic Youth a trio? Three-piece?
Yeah, they are actually, I think, aren't they?
It's the husband and
I could
wife
be wrong.
and a drummer? I'm going to Google that too.
You know what? If that's the case, that's odd because Blonde Redhead is a husband and wife and a drummer.
Whoa.
So that would be a very strange parallel.
I'll figure that out. Let's see. When I think of three pieces, I think of like Rush.
Rush.
Canada.
That's a crazy full sounding three piece, isn't it?
They were well, but then they had synthesizers for a while, and from what I heard, there was somebody backstage playing the synthesizer sometimes.
I don't doubt it. They're a little bit too crazy to be a three piece.
Or they had a computer program playing the synthesizer. But back when they were rock and roll, they were three piece, yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Rush, man, I haven't thought about Rush in forever.
And then there's the other bands that I can't think of that were three piece.
Yeah, there's not many others. Primus, I think they're a three piece.
Primus,
right?
Yeah. Dixie Chicks. Oh wait, no, they had a band behind them.
Yeah. Are there only three Dixie Chicks?
Right. So technically, but if they played, actually, on my website on MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com, I interviewed them when they first came out, and
no way, really?
Yeah,
that's killer.
And they did actually play for me, just the three of them. There was nobody else in the room, just the three. And so it was.
I'll have to hear that.
Guitar and fiddle, and then the girl.
Guitar and fiddle.
Natalie sang.
How were they? Were they pretty on point?
Yeah. It was good country, and then her voice is great, and the string sounded good. It was
Mm-hmm.
But Jordan,
That's
I can't think
excellent.
of any other three pieces. Rats.
Shoot, none are popping out right now.
And Rat wasn't a three piece. That was a.
No,
I think that was
That was like an 11 piece.
That's all right. Well, let's play Keen, and I don't think Keen is no way. Keen is a three piece. The band Keen.
Oh, the band Keen is a three piece, aren't they?
Yeah. Whoa,
Good
how
call.
weird. And now we're playing a song that you wrote called Keen.
There you go.
This is a nice, like, ballady, but not really kind of a rockin' thing. It's cool.
Yeah, it was kind of when we were writing it, we wrote this pop song, and then we were like, let's just do something different and kind of have it just go off at the end and not really make sense, in traditional song form. So
is it?
Yeah, we just had a pop song that was a bit too short and wanted to add a little extra flair to it, so we just kind of played a bunch at the end, and that's how it turned out.
Was it inspired by Keen?
No, actually, it wasn't.
Oh, okay.
The band you're talking about?
Yeah.
No Keen inspiration.
Oh, I just thought of two more: Green Day and Ben Folds 5.
Oh, there you go. We're getting a list together here.
Yay! All right.
Building.
Huh. Well, let's play Keen. This is Cash for Gold. They are a three-piece for sure. Speaking with Jordan from Cash for Gold, and you can find out more about them at wearecashforgold.bandcamp.com. And here they are on Mike's Daily Podcast.
Driving south together to hell. Shedding friends to demons. The end. Cause you choke me out. You went
This part sounds like a recurring child nightmare that I have that involves clowns. As we go outside the last place on earth where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley, California, that song is called Keen. It's by the band Cash for Gold. And tomorrow, the finale of my Intuit interview with Cash for Gold.
And here's today's podcast picture.
The podcast picture, it was a drawing. It's a cartoon with Shelley Shuhart. Thanks, Mike Matthews. Yeah, in it we're talking about the band Creed. Yes, and your favorite singer of all time. I love Scott Stapp. Yes, and he sings that song called With Arms Wide Open, and we talk about that song and about how it turns my stomach. And I love it so much. Yeah, and that song's from 2000, and it won a Grammy. And you can see the drawing now at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Mark, I can't believe that song won a Grammy. It's terrible. Hi, Shelley Shuhart. How y'all doing? I'm like so good. You're like so beautiful, Benita. I'm always struck by how beautiful you are. Wow, thanks a lot, Shelley. That's really nice of y'all. I like how you say the word y'all. I wish I could use y'all in a sentence. Like Matthew? Well, you just say, instead of you or you guys or yous guys, you say y'all. It's very simple. I don't get it. Well, tomorrow we'll bring you the finale of my Inuit interview with Cash for Gold. Plus, we will hear from Madame Rootabega, Valentino, and Bison Bentley.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MIKES-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Email Mike now at MIKES-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Emerson, Lake, and Palmer.